They know they have tells too. So like, 8 up, that's going to be different. That's going to be different on purpose. Like that is going to have to be different every time, so you can't get to tell. So literally, offensive linemen, quarterbacks, coaches, whatever the case is, are just going to have to literally figure it out. And you don't know until real time. You don't know until real time. And then defense coordinators, correct me if I'm wrong, if there is a fish on the offensive line too, they can start running that shit.
Red dot.
Yeah.
He's getting red dotted.
And there's a lot of backup offensive linemen this week.
Yep.
A lot of offensive linemen got hurt. So it's like with the way defenses have been performing with what you just showcased there, with a bunch of backup offensive linemen, it's like these first two series for these backup offensive linemen, big deal. Because if they get to the sideline, Chuck knows this, obviously. I've probably learned it from him. If they get to the sideline and they go, hey, this guy sucks, it is coming the entire game. But if you put the fire out early, and if you can just survive, like the first two series, then you will still.
That'll be big tonight. Because you got a rookie left tackle in Guyton for the Cowboys, and you got Beebe, a rookie center. And you're going to line up sexy Dexter Lawrence right over the top of that Beebe on his nose.
That's tough.
And then
you got Brian Burns and Thibodeau on the edges. Now, Guyton
got to get through that first goal.
Guyton's played 2 years of tackle.
Okay.
And it was right tackle. And he's starting at left tackle. Now, he's 6'8", he's a good athlete, he's all that. But he ain't played a lot of football as an offensive lineman and protecting.
You worried about that this evening with this defensive line?
Boy.
The Giants just came out at 8 sacks. Now, the Giants, if you do recall their season right now, and Giants fans are incredibly excited, they start their season with the Vikings, get their ass kicked.
Right. It's a good team.
Get their ass
Good
kicked.
team.
Very good team. We know that now. Then they play the Commanders, lose the kicker in warm-ups. So they lose by 3. Should have won that game.
Didn't give up a touchdown.
Yeah, 2, Jaden Daniels, which we obviously see going forward. And then they beat the Browns last week, which is obviously a common opponent with the Dallas Cowboys. They both have a win over the Browns, but it's like New York Giants fans are like, we found it.
Yeah,
we absolutely found it. And then Cowboys fans are wondering if they got it.
Yes.
You know, like AQ Shipley broke down yesterday about how the Atlanta Falcons offensive line was built to be run in Artie Smith's offense. So it was zone offensive line. So then whenever they come in this year and they have a new offense coordinator, new scheme, they're trying to use zone offensive linemen, but they're trying to do them in a not zone style. So it's fit, it's scheme, it's personnel, yada, yada, yada. They end up changing that and doing that. The Dallas Cowboys conversation then led into the fact that Zimmer's defense is different than Quinn's defense. So maybe they don't have the guys to run Zimmer's defense.
It's going to take some time.
But they don't have time. McCarthy's last deal, like last year, his deals, I guess they just signed Dak back full time.
Yeah.
5 years. So
Him and
maybe they do have some time to continue to build, but they're in win right now type season. Will Zimmer change or will the players have to change? How do you think that goes?
I think they're just going to have to keep evolving. They're going to have to try to figure it out, obviously. I mean, these are 2 1-2 teams. And like you said, they are running out of time. Anytime you get a new voice in front of the room, you may be, like when I went to Chicago, Vic was there before I got to Chicago, and they were number 1 in damn near every damn category, right? It's well documented. Mel Kiper said I stunk as a coordinator there, right?
Mad Mel.
Mad Mel.
Although Mel might have.
Yeah, we don't know. We didn't hear it.
I don't know him that well, but Mad Mel, so we did a lot of the same concepts, a lot of the same fronts. Took some stuff that they had done. Why would I go in there and say, no, we're going to throw all this great defense out and we're going to do it, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be ignorant. So that's not the case. Their Zim knows they've still played 1, 2, 3, got coverages, double barrel, whatever. But it's a different voice, some new coaches, maybe some different techniques, maybe some different ways we teach things. So it takes time.
Them being 6-point favorites is a little stinky to me. Just with the vibes around both teams.
It's a ton after getting killed 2 weeks in a row.
It's very interesting. And this is where Lee Corso would say, somebody knows something, and I'm with somebody. And it's like, it's a very interesting line here. I think personally, just if you think strictly vibes from both teams that is coming out in week 4 very early in this.
So 89-17, they were outscored last year. You think that's got something to do with it?
Well, and also, what is it? 7 out of the last 8, the Cowboys have beat the Giants, and I think
the only win was week 17. They didn't play any of their guys because they already had a playoff thing clinched.
Yeah, Danny Dimes 1-7, I guess, against the Dallas Cowboys.
1-7. Dak's got 10 straight. He's 12-2. So all that's got to be what's driving this number.
Dimes primetime record, I believe. I don't know if it's on there, but I believe it's not good.
I think Nick just said he's 1-13 in night games or something like that.
There it is.
Night games?
Yeah.
Just night games in general.
Let me ask you this. You guys are the experts. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's
All right. I don't like the
easy.
condescending
Yeah.
shit right there. I don't like that one bit.
That was passive aggressive.
Yeah,
I apologize.
We are not
little bit. No, go ahead though.
Line of scrimmage, it's where it all starts, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at this team, right, Dallas versus Giants, who's better on both sides of the ball?
Well, the Giants' D-line is obviously incredibly dominant.
Yeah.
And you talked about
They got
the
stars all
inexperience.
over. They got game wreckers all over that thing. And their offensive line,
Okay,
they had
so
three
don't
new
give away your
pieces.
pick, Chuck.
Cowboys can't stop the run at all.
And they can't run the ball.
And Singletary can move.
Yeah.
Sing got some juice.
Yes, he
got
does.
some zuzu.
26. I talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago. It was on the 4-box on one of the TVs. Giants popped up on Red Zone Channel or whatever, and I saw 26 like really doing some shit down the middle of the field. And I was like, are they running Saquon highlights right now? What is going on there? No, that's him. He is. He's a player. Hey, Bruce, before the big night, obviously, the records of recent history, but what happened yesterday doesn't determine what's going to happen today.
No.
You know, it might be a good talking point, but it's a different team today than it was, 1 week ago, let alone the last 13 times they've been on night Oh, that's a bad stat. That is a bad stat, 1 in 13 at night for Danny Dimes. But those night games are always against good opponent.
right.
Always against good opponent. Kirk Cousins used to have these types of records as well. People forget. How do you feel going into tonight, though, even though everything kind of says that the Cowboys should have your guys' number?
I feel great. The sky might not be blue today in New York.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, host of Coach, which is a podcast with Bill Belichick. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
What's up, guys? I'm on my way to see you tomorrow. I'll be out there waving you on. I'm on my way to Tuscaloosa to be with you tomorrow.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
I'm going to be there. Yeah.
What are you doing? You're driving? We got Cantor joining at 2:05. He's going to break it all down. Are you driving down there? How are you getting there?
Driving. I'm in the rain. in somewhere outside of Knoxville. I don't know. My wife's driving, so I'm in the back seat with my friends, and we're all going to make a party out of it. We're all coming down. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Are
I'm
you
excited
chasing
to
the
see
storm
it.
right now? Can you feel it? You're driving
We're right
toward
in the middle of it. We're right in the middle of it. We got all this rain. We were just in Asheville, North Carolina. They were getting it. So, yeah, we'll be there tonight. We'll be there. We'll pave the way for you, Pat. Don't worry.
Who's with you in the back? Anybody sweet? I heard there's a cowboy hat potentially back here.
Yeah, there's a cowboy hat back here. It's my man Bill Berman. He's with me. His daughter goes to Alabama,
Roll
and
Tide.
then his wife's in the front seat. We're getting chauffeured. The 2 highest priced chauffeurs in America right here.
Hey, well, you deserve it. Hey, boys, enjoy it. Cowboy hat on in car, incredibly uncomfortable. But if you're heading down to Bama, have a good one. You know, that's what you got to do.
I tried to get him to buy one of those big belts that you have on, but maybe that'll be the next birthday gift.
Yeah, most people have to earn those things, but you can just go to a good store and buy a good one. They're all very available. The bigger, the better. You know that title.
Amen.
Yeah, and it does dig into body.
Sure.
So about 2.5 hours into said show, that thing is about, I'm about done with it.
Sonyan, huh?
Yeah, about done with it. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about tonight, shall we, Paisan? We just broke down a lot of different things here. The Cowboys favored by 6 on ESPN Bet, 5.5 everywhere else. Vibes seemingly very high out of the New York Giants camp. And then for the Dallas Cowboys, seemingly like we stink, we're soft. That's like the vibes out of Dallas. 6-point favorites on the road. Seems interesting to me. How do you feel about the line? And what are you looking forward to this evening?
Well, I heard you guys talking about the problem the Cowboys had. Look, here's the Cowboys' problem. It was last year. They just masked it better. They were up 124 points in the first half, so nobody could really run the ball on them in the second half. In the 5 losses, every team that they lost to ran the ball for over 120 yards. The only game that the Lions ran the ball for 130 against them but lost because of we know those calls. So this Cowboy run defense hasn't been good going back to last year. They've just been able to mask it. They're a nickel defense that has to rush the passer. They have to play from in front. This year, they haven't been able to do that. They've gotten behind. And so for the Cowboys tonight, they've got to start fast against a secondary that's not very good of the Giants. They got to protect the quarterback, and they got to throw it, and they got to make Danny Dimes play quarterback. They got to make him play from behind him. I think that's the key. And for the Giants, look, the Giants pass rush won the game last week. But here's the reality of that game. In the fourth quarter, the Giants offense only got 2 first downs against Cleveland. They didn't score any points. The Giants all year long have only scored 9 points in the second half. 9 points in the second half total. So they're going to have to find some offense in the second half to get going. For me, I think ultimately it comes down to if the Cowboys play from in front, the Giants will have a hard time tonight.
Okay, Lombo, it sounds like you're leaning one particular way. Let me bring some more stats for you to chit-chat about that Giants offense and quarterback, more specifically Daniel Jones. He's 1 in 13 in his starts for the Giants in night games. The last 4 have been 18-plus point losses. So, like, not even kind of close. Do we feel like it's a new Danny Dimes, though, with Daboll back on the call, Malik Neighbors doing his thing, Singletary doing his thing, the potential operation against the Cowboys defense can't stop the run? Is this a night where Danny Dimes can really thrive, you think? And is that going to – are we reversing all of this in 1 week, one big win for Danny Dimes?
Well, you mentioned Zimmer. I think for Danny Dimes, he's got to play Canadian football tonight. So what does that mean? That means he's got to get first downs and 2 downs. Because if he gets involved in Zimmer's third down defense, even as bad as Dallas has played this year defensively, they're really good on third down. They just haven't forced teams to get to third down. And that's where Danny Dimes struggles. When he has to play fast on third down, make really quick decisions, all of a sudden the pressure breaks down. So they've got to run the football. They got to control the clock, win the time of possession, and make Dallas play from behind. And Dallas wants to rush. They want to get Parsons on Illuminor over at right tackle. They want to create matchups for their defense. And Danny Dimes has got to be able to, if he throws the ball more than 25 times, they won't win the game. And if he's in 14 or more third downs, they won't win the game. They've got to play Canadian football, get first downs and 2 downs, and keep that game going and stay out of Zimmer, because Zimmer can create a lot of problems for them on third down.
Yeah, and maybe that'll start happening for that Dallas Cowboys defense with Zimmer at the helm. I think Cowboys fans are wishing for that. It would be cool if we could just take a 20-yard Canadian football.
Oh, yeah.
Sprint.
Right. Imagine Tyreek Hill getting a chance to go
my God.
all the way back and then time up the thing going for it. That would be
Malik Neighbors tonight.
Oh my God.
Sick.
That'd be CeeDee Lamb. We should maybe. Hey, Raj.
Something to think about.
Hey, let's get the 30-yard running starts.
Why not?
on the offense. We once called Canadian football state fair football because we think it's cool. We enjoy it. We enjoy state fairs. Boy, they took massive offense to that. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
They were really coming after me.
Never been to a state fair, that's why.
Yeah, they don't understand how awesome state fairs are.